So with the release of the brand new map called Throne of Knull, Marvel Rivals is also adding a new game mode called Resource Rumble. It's basically a domination style type mode, but instead of just capturing points, you're also battling for resources, and the pace is way faster than a typical domination map. So right now, it's only dropping as a casual quick match mode, but I think that's pretty good, you know, because this game is really for casual players and not really focusing on the competitive side. But actually, they are thinking about dropping this in on competitive mode sooner or later if it's received well. So I think that's going to be fun. And as you can see, it is 4 people only in this game mode. So it's going to be very, very fast paced, and your life is going to matter way more in this game. And I think that's perfect for this type of domination / resource type game mode. So today I'm going to be breaking down what this resource game mode is, and you know, kind of how it plays differently than any other game mode we have received in the past for this game. So let's start with the basics. So if you played any domination map, whether, you know, it's Call of Duty or, you know, anything like that, you know how it kind of works. But in case you don't, I'm going to explain how domination works. So there's kind of 3 points on a regular domination game mode, and you capture and hold those points for your teams to rack up some type of score or points. So Resource Rumble kind of flips that idea a little. So instead of just sitting on the point, you know, dying and going back and forth, you know, exchanging points to get to a certain score, you actually have to fight over resources that spawn across the 2 other spots on the map, so you can bring them to the main part of the map and win the game. And as this kind of goes over, the game mode is going to become much faster, and when you are capturing those resources, there's only a certain amount you can get from that spot. So whoever gets the most from that spot just takes the most from that spot and brings them to the big part of the map. So from what we know, these resources modes are going to keep teams moving, and I think that's really good. So that means less camping, you know, more rotation, and you actually have to be in the fight, and you can't play lackadaisical. And I think that's really good for a game like Marvel Rivals, because in 6v6, some people can tend to, you know, not try as hard because their role is not that important and they know they have someone else to lean on. But in a 4v4 quick match mode, which is fast paced, you can't hide. You have to be a part of the team, and you have to do it so you can win. Now let's talk about the map it is playing on. So we already talked about it. The new map is called Throne of Knull, and if you're a Marvel fan, you know this is, you know, kind of the symbiote type map, the real true symbiote map. And I think this is a really good map for the game. Now let's talk about the map. So this is obviously, you know, inspired by the season that we are playing in right now, and I think it looks really sick, especially for a game mode like this. So with that being said, it's kind of got a dark, you know, twisted design to it, and I'm really loving that. Although a lot of maps in this game are kind of dark, heavy favored, I think it just comes like that because of the seasons we have been given with this game already. So maybe in season 4, if we get kind of like a more lighthearted, you know, kind of more peaceful, colorful, vibey type game mode, or season rather, then I think more maps will be kind of more light and open, like Thor's map or something like that, or kind of like the Spider-Man map that used to be in competitive. I think those type of maps will make a return, but it is really just based on the season. So with that being said, let's talk about kind of the game mode itself again. So like I said before, it's a 4v4 kind of game mode, and you will be it'll probably be two DPS, 1 tank, 1 healer, or 2 support, 1 tank, and 1 DPS. It really just depends. So with that being said, it's a lot of community speculation, and I personally think it's going to be a fun game mode to try out. And if you don't think so, then maybe it's not the mode for you. But hey, who doesn't love a domination game mode? I love a domination game mode. I know when I used to play Call of Duty and other games like that, I used to play that very heavily. So I think the point of this game mode is just to bring more casuals outside of just quick match and competitive, because those are obviously the only 2 real main modes that we have right now. Of course, we have Doom's match and other things like that, but that's really just to kind of pass time when you're queuing up for quick match, you know, even if that does take time, or a competitive match. So those are kind of really the only uses for those game modes. So I think this is a real first actual game mode that could be implemented as a permanent game mode, and I'm not, you know, too worried about that. I think it's very good for a casual game mode that they try to market for Marvel Rivals. So I think that's going to be good for this game. Now, even though it is launching as a quick match mode, like I said, it's going to come into competitive here sooner or later if the feedback is received good for this match. So if you want a head start, you know, before you hit competitive, or just want something to practice before you actually get to a competitive match, this is the game mode. It's very fast paced and it makes you think on your feet. And that is the type of game mode you need before you jump into quick match, or competitive rather. So there you have it, guys. This is the new game mode called Resource Rumble, and it is dropping alongside the Throne of Knull map on August 21st. It is fast-paced, chaotic, and I really think it's just a really good way to keep the fun going in Marvel Rivals outside of quick match and competitive. Now, of course, like I said, we've had other quick match game modes in the past, but those didn't really seem to stick. Like, for example, the game board one, that one, I didn't even try that, to be honest with you, but I didn't really think it looked fun, so that's why I didn't try it personally. But let me know what you guys think. If you did try that game mode, how did you like it? And just other game modes like that. I know there was like a Jeff kind of game mode back then, so I literally have not tried any other game modes, but this might be the first one I might actually try. I'm a competitive sweat, so that's just kind of how I roll. But I want to hear from you guys specifically. What do you guys think of this Resource Rumble game mode? And what do you think about the resource aspect of it, having to grab resources before you actually go to the main part of the domination map? So drop your theories, drop your comments, drop a like, drop a subscribe, all that, and make sure to check out my other videos on my channel as I give you more videos weekly. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for making it this far, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.